Hello, welcome to World of Microbes. Today we are going to introduce you to the basics of microbiology. You will learn about the concepts, fields, scope, and all the general things you should know about microbiology before starting of this course. Microbiology is a branch of biology that studies the biology of microorganisms, which are microscopic living organisms and we cannot see them with our naked eye. Microorganisms can be unicellular, multicellular, or acellular. These organisms include bacteria, fungi, algae, viruses, protozoa, and some. The study of microbiology includes their structure, physiology, reproduction, metabolism, and classification. This field helps one to understand the life of microorganisms that are either beneficial or harmful. Microbes are the foundation of all life on Earth, and have played a key role in the planet's evolution. Here are some basic facts about microbiology. Number 1. Microbes are everywhere. Microbes are the oldest life form on Earth, with fossil evidence of microbial communities dating back 3.48 billion years. Microbes are important. Microbes are vital in medicine, as they help us distinguish between organisms that cause disease and those that are necessary for life. Number 3. Microbes are diverse. Microbes vary in size, with viruses being up to 100 times smaller than the average bacterium. Number 4. Microbes produce soil for plants to grow in, and fix atmospheric gases that plants and animals use. Number 5. Microbes are harmful. Microbes can cause disease, and some are called pathogens. However, human pathogens make up less than 1% of microbial species. Number 6. Microbe branches. Some branches of microbiology include bacteriology, mycology, protozoology, phycology, parasitology, immunology, virology, and nematology. Number 7. Microbiology has many applications. Microbiology is used in industrial processes like wastewater treatment antibiotics. It's also used in food microbiology, which studies the interactions between microorganisms and food. Some basic microbiology lab procedures include inoculation, incubation, isolation, inspection, and identification. Why major in microbiology? Microbiology is an excellent major for undergraduate students who want a good general education emphasizing an important and interesting branch of biology. Microbiology is also an excellent preparatory major for medical, dental, and other professional health training students. By studying microbiologists can answer some big questions which affect many aspects of our lives, from degrading food waste to causing and curing disease. The study of microbes helps us to understand our world and our place within it. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms, which are vital to life on Earth and have a huge impact on our daily lives. Are everywhere. Microorganisms are present in our bodies, in the environment, and in many other places. In fact, there are as many microbial cells in our bodies as human cells. Microorganisms are fundamental to life. Microorganisms are the foundation of the biosphere and play a key role in human health. They recycle nutrients, break down organic matter, and influence our daily lives. Microbiology is relevant to many industries, including medicine, pharmaceuticals, nursing, laboratory work, winemaking, brewing, engineering. Microbiology is an interdisciplinary science. Microbiology overlaps with many other academic branches, including chemistry, botany, zoology, physiology, genetics, medicine, nutrition, and environmental science. Microbiology includes subdisciplines such as mycology, parasitology, and virology. Microbiology is fascinating. Microorganisms are diverse and have complex and unique lifestyles. They can grow in many different places, including deserts, oceans, mud pools, salt lakes, and industrial wastelands. Microbiology involves the study of diverse microbial populations, including viruses, bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, lichens, and slime molds. Have a look at some of these in detail. Bacteria are ubiquitous and one of the first life forms on Earth. They are present in diverse habitats, from the soil, underwater, earth crust depth, to extreme conditions like acidic hot springs and radioactive waste. Also, they are profoundly available in lakes and oceans, in Arctic ice, and geothermal springs. Bacteria living, unicellular, and microscopic organisms. They have a wide range of sizes and shapes. Most of them are rod-shaped, which is called bacilli, or spherical-shaped, which is called cocci, and vary in sizes ranging from 0.5 to 5.0 micrometers in length. There is an illustration of various shapes of bacteria discovered so far. From the outer environment, bacterial cells are surrounded by a cell wall, with a plasma membrane on the inside that mainly consists of phospholipids. The bacterial cell wall is composed of peptidoglycan, formed by polysaccharide chains cross-linked by D-amino acids containing peptides. Furthermore, bacteria are classified into two groups of their peptidoglycan layer, gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. Gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria are named after Danish scientist Hans Christian Gram, who developed the Gram stain to distinguish between them. Gram developed the Gram stain in 1884 to make bacteria more visible in lung tissue. The stain dye to bind to peptidoglycan in the cell wall of bacteria. Bacteria that stain purple after the Gram stain are called gram-positive. This indicates that they have a thick peptidoglycan cell wall. Bacteria that stain red after the Gram stain are called gram-negative. This indicates that they have a thin peptidoglycan cell membrane. Gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria have different cell walls, which causes them to stain differently and cause different types of infections. The differences between these two bacteria are explained in the table. Gram-positive bacteria have a single-layered smooth cell wall thickness of 20 to 80 nanometers, whereas gram-negative bacteria wavy cell wall thickness of 8 to 10 nanometers. Peptidoglycan layer of gram-positive bacteria is thick and can be present in multi-layers, whereas as gram-negative bacteria it's thin and only present in a single layer. Outer membrane of gram-positive bacteria is absent, whereas gram-negative bacteria mostly contains outer membrane. Bacteria are cocci or spore-forming bacilli. Gram-negative bacteria are non-spore-forming bacilli. Gram-positive bacteria have low lipid content, and lipopolysaccharide is absent. Gram-negative bacteria have 20 to 30% lipid content, and lipopolysaccharide is present. Bacteria are more susceptible to antibiotics. Gram-negative bacteria are more resistant to antibiotics. After gram staining, gram-positive bacteria appear purple under a microscope. After gram staining, gram-negative bacteria do not retain the stain and appear pink under the microscope. Here are the microscopic pictures of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Unlike eukaryotes, bacteria don't contain membrane-bound organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, and nucleus. Their genetic material is stored in an irregularly shaped body, called a nucleoid, in the form of a single circular chromosome, called a plasmid. The chromosome and the nucleoid is also associated with proteins and RNA, and they reproduce or multiply by a type of asexual reproduction called binary fission. Their species have different interactions with other organisms. It can be mutualistic, commensalism, predator relation, or pathogenic. It depends on the bacterial species. An extensive range of bacterial colonies that can be enumerated also contributes positively to human needs. Some of its applications are: bacteria such as lactobacillus used to prepare fermented foods like cheese, yogurt, soy sauce, and wine combined with yeasts and molds. Some species of bacteria that can digest hydrolium are used to clean the oil spill. They are used for the bioremediation of industrial toxic wastes. Some species of bacteria are bioengineered to produce therapeutic proteins such as insulin, growth factors, or antibodies. Fungi are complex multicellular eukaryotes, except yeast, which is unicellular or single-celled, that include microorganisms like yeasts, molds, and mushrooms. They primarily inhabit the land, soil, or plant material. Some are found in extreme environments like deserts, areas with high salt concentrations or high ionization, and deep-sea sediments. Morphologically, fungi have a thread-like structure called hyphae. They give rise to many other structures by branching and fusing into a structure called mycelium. Taxonomists have described around 148,000 fungi species as of 2020. And they can be classified in different ways: shape, fruiting bodies, and biochemical and physiological characteristics. They are classified into the following groups based on their life cycle, presence of the fruiting body, and spores arrangement and types they produce. Multicellular filamentous molds. Macroscopic filamentous fungi with large fruiting bodies. Microscopic yeasts. Fungi share some characteristics with other eukaryotes, plants, and animals. These include: fungi have a cell wall and vacuole similar to plants, and like moss and ferns, they also produce spores. Furthermore, they can also reproduce by both sexual and asexual means. Both lack chloroplasts and are heterotrophic, thus requiring organic compounds as an energy source. Fungi, like other eukaryotes, possess membrane-bound nuclei which contains genetic material and other organelles, such as mitochondria. Furthermore, they have an extensive range of soluble carbohydrates and storage compounds, like sugar saccharides. Most fungal species cause disease in plants and animals, but some also have practical applications in different areas. For example, fungi are used in food processing, preparation, and preservation. They are also used for the fermentation of food items, for example, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, also known as used to make bread and other wheat-based products. Some fungal species have applications in modern chemotherapeutics and traditional medicines. Some fungi, like white rot fungi, work well in the bioremediation processes. Algae is a large group of predominantly aquatic photosynthetic organisms. They range from unicellular microalgae, like chlorella and diatoms, to multicellular algae, such as giant kelp and brown algae. Most algae are autotrophic like plants but lack many significant cells and tissues present in plants, such as stomata, xylem, and algae are classified in several ways based on a variant of characteristics. And depending on the pigments they contain, algae are classified into three groups. Green algae, chlorophytes. Red algae, rhodophytes. Brown algae, phaeophytes. Some algal species live in symbiosis with other organisms. The host derives its nutritional requirements from algae and provides them protection in return. Some of them are lichens. It is a complex life form formed by two organisms, a fungus and algae, symbiotically linked together. Here, fungi are the dominant partners that impart characteristics to lichens, and algae predominantly associated with forming lichens are either green algae or blue-green algae. A few examples of lichens are Graphis scripta and Acrolechia parella, and macrolicon. Coral reefs, they are large underwater structures made up of the skeletons of colonial marine invertebrates called coral. Some of the by extracting calcium carbonate from seawater. They are called hard corals. They often harbor dinoflagellates algae in their cells, which help them live healthy. Sea sponges, a few species of algae live on the surface of sponges, where they provide sugar and oxygen for their growth and get protection from predators in return. Benefits of algae in human life include: algae are used to derive agar used in food and labs to grow plants and microorganisms. Alginate extracted from brown algae is used in some food and medical dressing. Some algae species are used as fertilizers, soil conditioners, and livestock feed. Chlorella and spirulina in some countries as nutritional food items. Protozoans are single-celled eukaryotic organisms living in a wide range of habitats, from freshwater, marine environments to the soil. Most of them are parasitic that live in plants or animals, and cause severe diseases. 14. They can reproduce by both sexual or asexual means. They lack a cell wall and possess flagella and cilia that help them move in the water. Viruses are infectious agents that are submicroscopic and can only survive in living organisms. The first virus, the tobacco mosaic virus, was discovered in 1898 by Marty Nussbacher. And since then, around 9,000 species of viruses have been found and studied by scientists. Viruses are much rare and possess a broad range of shapes and sizes. However, the five predominant shapes of viruses are helical, icosahedral, prolate, enveloped, and complex. Viruses have either DNA or RNA, mostly, as genetic material, unlike other organisms that only contain DNA as their genetic material. either have single-stranded RNA, double-stranded RNA, single-stranded DNA, or double-stranded DNA forms. Viruses are acellular organisms that require the machinery of their host cell to produce and multiply in hundreds or thousands. They cause several diseases in humans, animals, birds, bacteria, and even archaea. Microbiology plays a crucial role in various fields such as medicine, agriculture, food production, and environmental science. It helps us understand the structure, function, and behavior of microorganisms and their impact on our lives. Studying microbiology is important for various reasons. Firstly, it helps fundamental processes of life at a cellular level. Microorganisms are the building blocks of life, and studying them provides insights into how living organisms functions. Secondly, microbiology is essential for advancements in medicine and healthcare. It helps in the development of vaccines, antibodies, and other treatments for various infections. Lastly, microbiology is crucial for maintaining a healthy environment and sustainable agriculture. It helps in waste management, bioremediation, and the production of biofuels. Now we will briefly discuss the branches of microbiology. There is a video about branches of microbiology in this channel. The link is in the description. These branches have several specializations within their respective fields and will be discussed separately in this channel in future. Bacteriology is the study of bacteria, including their structure, genetics, physiology, ecology, and more. Bacteriology evolved from physicians needing to apply the germ theory to address the concerns relating to disease spreading in hospitals the 19th century. It's a specialized branch of microbiology that involves identifying and characterizing bacterial species. Bacteriology has many applications, including clinical diagnostics, in which bacteriology is essential for clinical diagnostics and is used to identify bacteria associated with specific diseases. Next one is industrial quality control, food, pharmaceuticals, and bacteriology is used in these fields, and has contributed to the development of new antibiotics and nutritious foods, and is also used in environmental studies. Mycology, the study of fungi, a group that includes the mushrooms and yeasts. Many fungi are useful in medicine and industry. Fungi are essential decomposers in many ecosystems, and they also aid plant growth. Fungi can be used for food, tinder, traditional medicine, and more, but they can also be a source of poison and entheogens. Fungi are used in many traditional and indigenous cultures to make fermented foods and beverages, such as bread, beer, wine, cheese, rice, and soy sauce. However, some types of fungi produce toxic compounds called mycotoxins, which can contaminate food and cause serious health concerns. Fungi can cause also known as mycosis, which are diseases that can affect the skin, nails, mouth, throat, lungs, urinary tract, and other parts of the body. Hallucinogenic mushrooms are used in many traditional cultures. Some fungi have been used in traditional medicine for medicinal and other preparations. For example, Psilogenella sp. various diseases and conditions in Asia. Parasitology is the study of parasites, their hosts, and the relationship between them. Parasites are pathogens that can be unicellular, that are protozoa, or multicellular like helminths, arthropods. They can cause billions of infections in humans, ranging from relatively harmless to fatal. Parasitology is an interdiscipline that includes microbiology, immunology, biochemistry, and other life sciences. Parasitologists focus on eukaryotic parasites, such as lice, mites, protozoa, and worms. Some parasitic diseases include schistosomiasis, malaria, cryptosporidiosis, pneumocystis carinii, pneumonia, and strongylosis. Parasites are extremely common, and are responsible for some of the world's most deadly illnesses. Virology is a subfield of microbiology. The term virology was first used around 1935. Dutch microbiologist Martinus Beijerinck is considered the father of virology because he was the first to use the term virus. Virology is the scientific study of viruses and viral diseases, including their structure, evolution, and how they infect and exploit hosts. Viruses are known to infect most organisms, including bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, plants, insects, and vertebrates. However, viruses also have certain beneficial properties that can be exploited for useful purposes, as is evident in both gene therapy and vaccinology. Phycology is the scientific study of algae, which are photosynthetic organisms that live in aquatic environments. It's also known as algology. Phycology is a branch of life science and is important because algae are primary producers in aquatic ecosystems. They are a vital part of food chains, and some are a food source for algae are also used in industry to produce commercially valuable substances like iodine, agar, and carrageenan. Protozoology is the study of protozoans, which are single-celled, eukaryotic organisms that are often microscopic. The science had its beginnings in the latter half of the 17th century when Antony van Leeuwenhoek of the Netherlands first observed protozoans by means of his invention, the microscope. Protozoans are important because cause diseases like malaria, amoebic dysentery, and African trypanosomiasis. They are used in experiments to study cells and molecular biology. They play a role in nutrient cycling and soil fertility. They are the main predators of bacteria in many environments. Fossil protozoa can help locate and reconstruct past climate change. Nematology is the scientific study of roundworms, also known as nematodes. It is a key part of biological sciences and has become an independent discipline since the mid-19th century. Here are some things to know about nematology. Nematodes are the most diverse and abundant group of animals, with 4 out of 5 animal toads. Most nematodes are microscopic and transparent, making them invisible to all but a few specialists. Nematodes can be found in deserts, swamps, the oceans, the tropics, and Antarctica. They can be carried by the wind, flying birds, and running animals, and can float in almost all the waters of the earth. Be a threat to the health of animals, humans, and plants. They can also be disease vectors. Nematology research includes molecular biology, field studies, and the study of nematode interactions with other organisms. Archaea is a domain of single-celled organisms that are prokaryotic, meaning their cells lack a nucleus. The word archaea comes from the Greek word archaeos, which means ancient or primitive. Archaea are distinct from bacteria and eukaryotes, which are other groups of organisms. Archaea are known for their ability to live in extremes such as hydrothermal vents and acidic soils. Archaea are a major part of Earth's life. They are part of the microbiota of all organisms. In the human microbiome, they are important in the gut, mouth, and on the skin. 9. Their morphological, metabolic, and geographical diversity permits them to play multiple ecological roles. Immunology is the study of the immune system in all organisms, and is a branch of biology and medicine. It's concerned with how the body protects itself from microbes, tumors, and infectious diseases. If the immune system is not functioning as it should, it can result in disease, such as autoimmunity, allergy, and cancer. Applications in numerous disciplines of medicine, particularly in the fields of organ transplantation, oncology, rheumatology, virology, bacteriology, parasitology, psychiatry, and dermatology. Immunologists perform a variety of roles, which include developing vaccines, in which immunologists create new protect people from disease. Creating antibiotics, in which immunologists develop new antibiotics to treat infections, and improving therapies, in which immunologists develop better therapies for inflammatory diseases. Food microbiology is a study of the microorganisms that cause loss of food quality and safety, as well as those organisms that help to preserve the food and keep other organisms at bay. The microorganisms of importance in the food industry are yeasts and molds, fungi, bacteria, and to a lesser extent viruses. It covers a wide range, including food spoilage, which is the process by which food becomes unsafe or unpleasant to eat due to molds or yeast growth in food. Food safety, in which food microbiology tests can detect pathogens like E. coli, salmonella, and listeria, which can cause illness if food is not handled properly. Food production, in which microbes are used to make, such as cheese, yogurt, bread, beer, and wine. Food preservation, as microbes can be used to preserve food. Lastly, food legislation, which is a set of laws and regulations that govern the handling, preparation, and storage of food. The purpose of food legislation is to protect consumers from foodborne illness and ensure to eat. Food microbiology is related to food legislation. Food microbiology also involves studying the biology of microorganisms, including their growth, identification, and pathogenesis. Industrial microbiology is a branch of biotechnology that uses microorganisms to produce industrial products on a large scale. These products can include antibiotics, food products, enzymes, amino acids, vaccines, fine chemicals, bioplastics, vitamins, food additives, and biofuels. Microbiology is based on fermentation technology, biochemistry, and genetic engineering. It often uses microbial cell factories to manipulate microorganisms to increase product yields. Industrial microbiology has the potential to replace harmful plastics with biodegradable ones, fossil fuels with biofuels, and processes with biocompatible alternatives. Environmental microbiology is the study of microorganisms in their natural and artificial environments, including the soil, water, air, and sediments of the planet. It also includes the study of the microorganisms that live in plants and animals, and in artificial environments like bioreactors. Environmental microbiology is important. Organisms are the oldest and most essential life forms on Earth. They can survive in extreme environments, such as geysers, black smokers, and oil wells. It's estimated that we know less than 1% of the microbial species on Earth. Environmental microbiology covers the following topics. Microbial ecology, which is the study of the composition and physiology of microbial communities. Microbial ecology, which is the study of how microorganisms interact with each other and their environment. Biogeochemistry, which is the study of how chemical elements move through the environment in living systems, and how these elements interact with each other in organisms. Astrobiology, which is the study of the origin and future of life in our solar system. Medical microbiology is a subspecialty of pathology that focuses on the study of microorganisms that cause disease in humans. It involves the identification of microorganisms, diagnosis of infectious diseases, and the assessment of how to treat them. Medical microbiologists study the phenotypic features of microorganisms, such as structure, reproduction, physiology, and metabolism. They work with a variety of healthcare providers, including clinicians, medical technologists, pharmacists, and infectious disease specialists. Medical microbiology has practical applications in vaccines, microbial diagnostics, susceptibility testing, and therapeutics design. Microbial genetics is the study of the hereditary material, or genomes, of microorganisms, including bacteria, archaea, viruses, and some fungi and protozoa. It examines how microorganisms evolve, how genetic information is expressed, and the processes they use to acquire new genes. Microorganisms are well suited to microbial genetics because of their short generation time, haploid genome, and ease of culturing. However, they also have some complexities, such as clonal and asexual propagation, recombination, and gene conversion. Here are some topics covered in microbial genetics. First one is evolution, in which we study about how genome and recombination. Next one is gene transfer, in which we study about how microorganisms acquire new genes through processes like transformation, transduction, and conjugation. And lastly, taxonomy, in which we study about how speciation and taxonomy relate to evolution. Soil microbiology is the study of microorganisms in soil, their functions, and how they affect soil properties. Microorganisms in soil include bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa, and nematodes. Soil microbiology is an interdisciplinary subject that involves understanding soil science, microbiology, and system chemistry. There are two main approaches to soil microbiology. Number one is studying the organisms by examining their physiology and taxonomy. Number two is focusing on microbial processes, or what microorganisms do in soil. Soil microbiology is important because microorganisms improve soil health as microorganisms play a vital role in nutrient cycling and decomposition, which are essential for plant growth and soil health. Degrade pollutants as microorganisms help remove pollutants from soil. Produce trace gases as soil microbes contribute to the production and consumption of atmospheric trace gases, which influence the global climate. Microbial ecology is the study of microorganisms and their interactions with each other and their environment. Microbial ecology is a relatively young discipline, with a modern history of only about 60 years. It studies a wide range of habitats, including aquatic, terrestrial, and plant or animal-associated environments. Includes the study of diversity and distribution, in which we study about the variety of microorganisms and where they are found. Interactions, in which we study about how microorganisms interact with each other, with plants and animals, and with their environment. Role in ecosystems, in which we study about how microorganisms energy. Response to environmental stimuli, in which we study about how microorganisms adapt to environmental stimuli, such as antibiotics, disinfectants, and heavy metals. Microbial physiology is the study of how microorganisms are structured and function, especially how they respond to their environment. Technological advances, such as DNA sequencing techniques, have led to a revolution in microbial physiology. These advances have provided the basis for genetic analysis in bacteria, genetic tools for studying gene regulation in bacteria, the conceptual framework for the operon model of gene expression. Aquatic microbiology is the study of microorganisms and their activities in bodies of water, such as lakes, rivers, oceans, and springs. It focuses on the interactions and dynamics of microorganisms, including bacteria, viruses, algae, protozoa, and microscopic fungi, in aquatic ecosystems. Aquatic important roles in aquatic ecosystems, including breaking down organic matter, recycling nutrients, and providing food for other aquatic life. Microorganisms in aquatic systems adapt to survive in different conditions, such as temperature, salinity, pressure, and oxygen levels. They can come from a variety of sources, including runoff, agricultural activities, industrial discharge, and human or animal waste. Aquatic microbiology has contributed to a greater understanding of the role microorganisms play in aquatic ecosystems. Cellular microbiology is the scientific study of the functions and properties of microbial cells. This discipline combines techniques and approaches of classic cell biology and microbiology. Microbial cytology is the study of the structure, formation, and operation of microorganisms at a microscopic and submicroscopic level. It involves examining cells collected from the body under a microscope. Cytology can be used to detect microorganisms and the cytopathologic effects, CPE, caused by infection. Also help diagnose conditions like bacterial or fungal infections, yeast overgrowth, and parasitic infestations. Microbial taxonomy is the classification, identification, and naming of microorganisms. It's the foundation of microbiology and is important for establishing microbiological resource centers. Here are some aspects of microbial taxonomy. Classification, in which new isolates are classified into new. Classification systems have evolved from the early two-kingdom systems to the current three-domain system. Nomenclature, in which the code of nomenclature of bacteria lays down rules for nomenclature. Identification, in which isolates are identified into known species. Characterization, a key element of microbial characterizing microbial strains. This can be done by analyzing phenotypic traits, which are observable features, or genotypic traits, which are encoded in the organism's genome. Technological advances. New technologies that provide more reliable information about microorganisms can significantly impact the classification process. Name changes can be made if the benefits to the scientific community outweigh any short-term drawbacks. The history of microbiology is marked by the contributions of many scientists. Some of them are Robert Hooke. He used a compound microscope to observe plant cells and coined the term cell. Antony van Leeuwenhoek. He described bacteria and protozoa as animalcules after observing them with his homemade 1676. Louis Pasteur. He demonstrated that microorganisms cause fermentation and disease, and is credited with establishing microbiology as a distinct science in 1857. Edward Jenner. He discovered a safe and effective smallpox vaccine by injecting cowpox material into Ignaz Semmelweis. He demonstrated that childbed fever was contagious and instituted aseptic techniques like handwashing. Joseph Lister. He instituted the use of antiseptics as an aseptic technique. Detailed video about history of microbiology is in this channel, link is in the description. Microorganisms contribute to the world in myriads of ways. Apart from some that cause harm, there are others who have immense importance in our ecosystem and health system. Some of these benefits are: agriculture. Microbes help plants take required nutrients by breaking down complex compounds into simpler forms. Soil rich in nutrients and minerals, like nitrates, that enhance crop yield. Microbes help plants fix nitrogen, and some of them are used as biofertilizers, thus contributing to a better and higher output. Biotechnology and genetic engineering. Microbial studies have allowed scientists to understand their working mechanisms and engineer them in a way that production of medicinal compounds. It is believed that the insertion of foreign genes in some bacterial species might lead to creating a bacterial strain that can provide solutions to myriads of challenges, including pollution, food and energy shortages, and the treatment and control of the disease. Producing certain compounds. Bacteria are used in industries to make new raw materials. They can perform a metabolic reaction rapidly on a large scale that meets the population's demand for medicines, food materials, or other chemical compounds, such as insulin and other growth hormones. Combating diseases. The study of microbes has unraveled their potential in treating several deadly conditions. For example, bacterial species are used to isolate medicinal compounds, like antibiotics, and develop vaccines. Keep the planet healthy. Microbes play an essential role in recycling minerals like nitrogen and carbon for easy availability to other organisms, keeping the environment oxygenated, and actively degrading organic matter. Food processing. The study has enlightened us on the application of microbes as an essential source of nutrients. For example, some algal and fungal species are part of people's meal, such as mushroom, chlorella, spirulina, and certain microbes are also used in food processing, fermentation, baking, and producing livestock feed.